So in March of 2023, official US accounts revealed that Meghan Markle is claiming she only works a single hour a week for her charity foundation Archwell. And then in May of 2023, only a couple of months later, Meghan won the Women of Vision gong at the Ms. Foundation Awards, where she went on stage in New York and she invoked the memory of the late Queen by preaching to everybody about a life of service. My goodness, I mean, the public worship of Meghan would be almost hilarious if it were not taken seriously by the uber-woke American left-wing media elite. How in the world can somebody out there invoke sacrifice when it seems like they have done basically the opposite throughout their entire life? As somebody who has been talking about Meghan since she first started dating Harry, the launch of Meghan 2.0 in New York this week was all taken from her carefully planned PR playbook, although now it's been somewhat overshadowed by that car chase fight that happened after. Alright, I'm gonna give it to you straight. Meghan Markle is pissed because she missed out on the spotlight at the King's coronation, and that's probably because she was worried that she would have been booed while she was entering, and probably even while she was inside of Westminster Abbey. Now, these worries were very well founded. She needed her own moment in the spotlight, though. She was desperate for it. Meghan cannot give up this one-sided fight with the Princess of Wales. By the way, the Princess of Wales looks so dignified, so classy, so gorgeous at the coronation. But anyway, I'm afraid this nonsense for Meghan is never going to end. Meghan is such old news at this point. Everything she does is so predictable. Even that stupid speech she made, it was just littered with these not-so-subtle digs at the royal family. Meghan again tried to claim that she was treated so horribly by her various royal servants and advisors in the royal family. And so she realized she could not be afraid of saying what is true and what is just and what is right. Ugh, gag me. But if you do a little fact-checking of Meghan's Oprah Winfrey lie fest about her time in the UK, you can confirm that saying what is true is not a real priority in Meghan's world. Her truth is claiming that she is the world's most unlikely victim, respected by millions living in mansions or palaces, showered with free gifts and with the kind of daily privilege and luxury that most of us could only ever dream of. Now, as part of this relaunch, Meghan's also trying to equate herself to the late Queen by stealing her mantra of daily acts of service. Alright, let's be honest here. These two women could not be more different. The late Queen gave up so many personal luxuries, and an easy life actually, to dedicate herself to serving the people of the UK and the Commonwealth. And even in her last few years on Earth, she had a very difficult daily schedule. She didn't want to get involved in any personal dramas, she lived modestly, and she was almost completely focused on her subjects on a daily basis, right up until the time she passed away at age 96. And she also was not one to announce to the entire world her private thoughts and feelings. But unfortunately, among those woke people these days, embracing victimhood is pretty good for business. So that is what Meghan is going to keep on doing. So now Meghan is calling on everybody to be the visionary of your own life. So again, Meghan is trying to suggest that she just had to break free of the confines of the royal family in order to do that for herself. The reality is, Meghan could have achieved so much more for charity causes she claims to care about if she had just remained working within the British monarchy. When I think about the late Princess Diana, she is immediately connected to the projects for which she devoted her time and her life and her energy. She was only on Earth for a short time, but boy did she ever transform public discourse internationally on issues like bulimia and other eating disorders, the AIDS epidemic, and also landmines. Now, a quarter of a century on from her tragic passing, the impact that she made in these important social and humanitarian areas is still very much felt today. When we say she changed the world, we are not exaggerating. Her daughter-in-law, though, just seems focused on this woke set of radical feminist priorities that are not actually based in any real practical change. The charity honored Meghan for her alleged lifelong advocacy for women and girls. They described her as one of the most powerful and influential women in the world. Honestly, I didn't know who they were talking about. And it also doesn't really answer the most important question in all of this. What has Meghan really done? This Meghan 2.0 seems to be all about dominance of the woke media narrative through spin, through a lot of glamour and money. It has nothing to do with practical good work. There is no suggestion whatsoever that there's any kind of mission that she actually cares about. other than earning lots of money for herself and pretty fast, while also trying to make herself look better through very controlled media and personal appearances. They assured us that Meghan directs her philanthropy through their Archwell Foundation, but their focus since they moved to Montecito has been just directing their efforts into making themselves very wealthy. If they really cared about their charity endeavors, then I think the official filings for Archwell would record Meghan and Harry working more than a single hour per week. Now, apparently this is not strange. Apparently it is the standard amount that nonprofits typically disclose for board participation, and it's similar to disclosures made by people like the Obamas and Mark Zuckerberg. But I still think the tax records for Archwell are very sketchy. So these have revealed that in 2021, it gave out $3 million in grants, and it raised $13 million from wealthy benefactors, and $4,500 from public donations. They made a lot more money from their deals with corporate giants like Netflix and Spotify, and they used that money to buy a big McMansion for themselves. Now, of course, as always, there was a lot of hypocrisy on display. Meghan called for grace and fairness during that stupid speech of hers. Please tell me, what is graceful, what is fair about trashing a seriously ill father who raised you and who paid your way in everything, who paid for your expensive private school education, your very privileged California upbringing, and then how did she repay him for all of that sacrifice? Well, she just ditched him in a very public way. Please tell me what is graceful or fair about attacking the life's work of the late great Queen by making false accusations that the British royal family is racist, and then waiting until after she passed away before allowing Harry to publicly correct the record. Please tell me what is graceful, what is fair about trying to spread hatred about the future King Prince William and his lovely wife Catherine, knowing good and well their life of service means they cannot publicly answer. I'll tell you what, nothing. On stage, in front of her woke audience, Meghan encouraged us to take up a life of service and kindness. She said, it's never too late to start. Well, Meghan, honey, maybe you should give yourself the same advice, and maybe you should take it. That woman has no shame. I mean, she has made a living on being married to royalty, but at the same time, she trashes the royal family. Talk about biting the hand that feeds you. And then she happily accepted that expensive wedding, and she even had Charles walk her down the aisle. She had so many privileges, and then she and Harry went and stole the late Queen's very private nickname and gave it to their daughter, even though the Queen never even met that little girl, if she's even real. You know what? If Meghan didn't want to be a part of the royal family, there's no problem with that. If she didn't want to do the boring duties involved with being a working royal, okay. But then to turn around and keep referring to herself as Duchess and to demand titles for those invisible children is a big no-no. Meghan used her acting skills to manipulate and ruin the life of a vulnerable and easily influenced Prince Harry. He was pretty happy before she entered his life, and she convinced him that everything was wrong. And you know what? When she inevitably dumps him, he's gonna be destroyed. And you, what do you think about Meghan Markle? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments section. If you think my video is useful, please remember to like and share it with anyone else who would love it anytime you want. And please subscribe.